Hello everyone, this is my Kawasaki Versys-X 300, and in today's video, I'm gonna go over my favorite modifications to this motorcycle. Guys, do me a favor and please like and subscribe. I have a 1,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year. Let's go for a ride. I'm gonna start things off with the crash bars. These crash bars are from T-Rex Racing, and they have, as you can see, gone through quite a bit. These crash bars has actually helped prevent a lot of money and damages. Every time this bike goes down, these crash bars take the brunt of the damage. If these crash bars weren't here, majority of the damage would be going to the side fairings and the handlebars. I think crash bars are an important feature of any adventure motorcycle, and I believe they can save you money in the long run. These crash bars are actually made out of 7/8 steel tubing, and they have a black powder coating. From T-Rex Racing are about $220. These crash bars are pretty sturdy. They don't move at all, and they have multiple mounting points. These bars have been on this motorcycle for several years and have seen several crashes, and they have held up over time. One thing about these crash bars that I like is they have these pucks. These are actually removable, and you can replace them with new pucks. As you see, the puck is kind of what saves your crash bars. One thing I noticed as I was checking out my crash bars this morning, I need to tighten this one up. As you can see, you just take a Allen wrench and tighten it up on the other side. You can see that's how they come off. I just need to tighten that up so it won't fall off. This side hasn't taken nearly as much damage, as you see the Versys-X 300 logo right there. So the next mod that I want to talk about is this skid plate. It's also from T-Rex Racing. It cost about $230, and it's actually made out of 4mm thick aircraft grade aluminum. It's also powder coated black, and as you can see, it saved me from quite a bit of damage. If you're going to do any off-roading on the Versys-X 300, I think this is one of the necessary modifications. Now, as you can see, T-Rex Racing has actually put a removable plate so you can access and change your oil without taking off the skid plate. In my experience, it doesn't really work. I tried to use it before, and if you take the oil out, the oil is just going to go to the bottom of the skid plate and cause a mess. Now, some people have had luck with making their own device to make the transferring of the oil through this plate a lot easier. In my experience, it's easier just to take these 4 bolts off, change your oil, put it back on, a couple minutes each time. It's not a big deal, and that way I know that I'm not going to get oil all over my garage. A skid plate is really for the peace of mind, all those rocks and debris that you're going to be hitting. Oh yeah, that was a big one. Oh. I mean, as you can see, that's the oil filter right there. It's very low. So if you're going to be doing any off-roading, I think a skid plate is a must if you're going to have a Versys-X 300. Right now is actually out of stock because I believe they're swapping over to a new generation of skid plates that offer even more protection. This video is not sponsored by T-Rex Racing, but what I noticed is they have a lot of amazing parts for the Versys-X 300. And that brings me to my next modification. These are actually from T-Rex Racing, and they're the handguards. They also have a bark buster wind deflector that comes with it. As you guys can see, these handguards have helped save my bars and hands several times. This side has probably taken the most damage. These are about $150 on T-Rex Racing's website, trexracing.com. The most important feature is obviously the protection it gives your hands from trees or anything like that. It also protects your clutch and brake levers. Another feature of these handguards that I never really considered is actually the wind protection. If you ride in any cold weather, even this small amount of wind protection is a big deal for your hands. And you can see how I've had to bend these back a few times. When the bike takes a heavy fall, the two things I hit are usually this and this. So without this, I would almost think that these bars would not have survived. It helps spread that force out, and actually this takes the damage instead of the bars and the grips and stuff like that. Now you may be asking, are you missing something? Where's your windshield at? Well, guys, I was working on my motorcycle, attempting to get the front wheel off. The bolt was just almost seized. I was having a hard time getting it off. I was cranking, and as I was cranking on the bolt, the motorcycle actually fell over onto my other motorcycle. and the windshield, the tall one that I had, hit the other motorcycle and shattered into 2 pieces. So for right now, I'm riding without a windshield, which actually on hot days I did not realize is actually pretty amazing. A lot of wind, but I don't know if I could do it on the highway for long periods of time. But I have a new one ordered, the exact same one. I found it on Amazon, and it actually was about half the price that I originally paid for it. One complaint that I had when I originally bought my Versys-X 300, the stock seat wasn't very comfortable. I mean, it wasn't the worst I've ever experienced, but I just knew that it was lacking a lot of comfort and stability. Basically, I changed it out for a Seat Concepts foam and cover kit, and the difference is remarkable. The Seat Concepts seat is about $230, but it's worth every penny. The stock seat wasn't terrible, but after a few hours in the saddle, it became pretty apparent that it was lacking. It just felt like when you sat on it, at first it was pretty comfortable, but it just kind of collapsed. It was soft for about 10 minutes, and then it was just like there was no support. So you'd start to feel it in your lower back, and it just eventually became a thing that I wanted to upgrade. This is the Seat Concept seat right here. It's the Comfort version 2, and it comes as a foam and cover kit, meaning you have to take off the stock seat, the staples and all, and you have to utilize the stock seat pan. You spray glue and you put the foam on the stock seat pan, and then once that dries, you put the cover over and you staple it. I put about 20,000 miles on this seat. While I didn't do a perfect job putting it on, so far it held up to the test of time. One other item that I want to talk about is this original Go Cruise throttle lock. The throttle lock is pretty simple. You undo it a little bit and you go ahead and slip it on. Now this works on pretty much any motorcycle's handlebars. Now, you see it's tight. You don't want it too tight. You just want to be able to move it, but yet keep its position. And then, let's say on the highway, you're cruising along, and your hand hurts a little bit, right? So what this does is you basically, with your index finger, push it forward, and it holds the throttle, it locks the throttle into position. So if you're going 60 and you lock it, theoretically, it's going to be going 60. Now the problem is if you're going downhill or uphill, it's going to increase or decrease your speed. But this gives you a little bit of time. I usually pull the throttle back, lock it in position. This allows me to give my hand the rest that it needs. Now to take it off, you just loosen it, and then you can put it in your bag or transfer it to your other motorcycle. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today's video and for the recent support, the comments, the likes, the subscriptions. I appreciate all of that. Let me know what your guys' favorite modifications are to your motorcycle. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently on a 1,000 subscriber goal that I'm trying to hit by the end of the year. So if you can do me a favor, if you can like and subscribe on this video, that would be amazing. Also, make sure you tune in to next week's video because I'll be going on a dual sport / adventure ride in Mississippi, where I'll be moto camping and riding trails. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Sheldon Rider out.